Do you notice anything different about his game, JK?
No, it's just quicker, faster, stronger, more explosiveness. Mid-range work is starting to get pretty damn good, so I know he works on that, and everything else, JK's just continuing to add to his bag.
I think he's a 3. It's always been my opinion.
When you take a 3?
He finished the scrimmage with a corner 3 that made it. Broken play, he's on the perimeter, shot clock, going down, he's open, let that thing fly.
How was that confidence taking that shot?
I'd already hit a couple of them, so.
Yeah, you did.
That rim gets bigger and bigger, so I just let it fly, and I knew it was good as soon as it left my hand.
The Golden State Warriors just might have found a diamond in the rough. With the shooting guard position up for grabs, it is a heated battle all the way to the finish line for Steve Kerr to determine which player to plug in at the 2. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. Anthony Slater of The Athletic recently published an article on the battle for Golden State's starting 2-guard spot a couple of days ago, and we just got to witness firsthand some of what Steve Kerr has been privy to in the team practices. After watching the matchup versus the Clippers, I'm shocked by Slater's piece, not because of what was in his article, but because of what wasn't. In Slater's article, there were 3 players that were fighting for the 2-guard spot. The name of those 3 players, DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield, and Brandon Pajemski. Aren't we missing someone? Oh yeah. Did Moses Moody quit the team? How do you write an article about the 2-guard slot and not have Moses Moody as an option? It's clear he's been working hard this summer, and we might be seeing a leap of sorts for Moody. That's not to say the Warriors' alternative options are slouches either. Every player the Warriors have competing for that spot showed their capability to get the job done. Well, except maybe one player, which we'll find out who that is shortly. And lastly, for a late second-round pick that the Warriors repurchased with cash, did the Warriors find a hidden gem in Lindy Waters III? If so, this year is going to go crazy for the team in the Bay. So enough prep, let's get to it. But before that, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get Let me preface this by saying that this is still just the first game of the preseason. What this means is a lot of players are not quite in rhythm just yet, so let's not put these guys underneath the microscope. The Warriors have gone into this season with only 2 spots on the roster on lock. Those 2 spots belong to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. We've often speculated on how the rest might shake out. However, there's one glitch in the system that keeps the lineup from playing how Steve Kerr would like to play. That is, Jonathan Kuminga's ability to space the floor. Without this issue, the Warriors fixed their front court, playing Draymond alongside Trace and Kuminga, with Steph at the 1 and the best of Pods, Melton, Hield, Moody, and Wiggins at the 2. When the Warriors matched up against the Clippers in their preseason debut, the agenda became clear. Who is going to get the starting nod in the backcourt next to Stephen Curry? Steve came out of the gates with a lineup that included Steph, Melton, Kuminga, Draymond, and Trace. Melton's only real weakness is the fact that he's 6'3". Considering Steph is 6'2", this becomes a rather small backcourt. Although Klay's shooting was otherworldly, one of the main reasons Golden State was so successful with Steph and Klay was Klay's size. His ability to guard 1 through 3 allowed them to switch him onto the opponent's best perimeter player on defense. He's much more difficult to shoot over than a player that's 3 or 4 inches shorter. His size advantage allowed him to hit shots over those same smaller opponents and provide relief for Steph Curry, as his perimeter game made it more difficult to double Steph. This makes Melton a less than ideal candidate for the 2-guard spot. However, his strong defensive skills and ability to shoot the 3, as he demonstrated, makes him a good candidate for the spot in the absence of a pre-injury Klay Thompson. Melton was one of the better shooters, hitting 2 of 5 from 3-point range, and provided very disruptive defense, showing his chops even against taller players. He knows that despite his size, as long as he's up underneath the offensive player, that ball is going to have to come down, and that gives him his opportunity to strike and go for the steal. Buddy Hield was the other guard covered by Slater. He came off the bench midway through the first quarter after Kerr subbed the entire team, and like most of his teammates, struggled to hit shots from distance, going only 1 of 5. It does take some time for these guys to get their legs under them, so this isn't a point of judgment this early in the season. His form looks good and he seems to be locked in defensively as well. If Buddy playing defense in the preseason and the fact that the team started with a lineup that featured Trace and Melton doesn't tell you that Kerr means it when he says the Warriors have to be a top 2 defensive team, then you're in for a surprise when the regular season starts. Now, something interesting happened with the last player that Slater covered. Brandon Podziemski obviously didn't start, and this is a very, very big deal. Earlier during the offseason, before Steve had a chance to see the players in action, it was looking as if Poz would be starting next to Stephen Curry in the backcourt. Up to a few days ago, and even before the game, it was thought that Poz would have a role that included starting next to Steph Curry, leaving early in the first quarter, and then coming in for Curry to facilitate for the second unit. While this isn't out of the cards as the season progresses, this opens up room for one other big speculation. Kerr doesn't typically like to change his lineup, and I know this might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. Given the innumerable amounts of lineups we've seen this past year, there is a reason for that. What I'm trying to get at here is the fact that Poz was out of the starting lineup. Who else was noticeably out of the lineup? Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins has been out of practice and was held out of the Clippers game due to what appeared to be some type of flu-like illness. Had Wiggins been healthy, I would have to assume that he would have started next to Stephen Curry, but this may not be true. Steve admitted that he has trouble seeing Jonathan Kuminga as a 3, and seeing that this is the preseason and he'd like to have JK in the starting lineup, there is no better time to put him at the 3 next to Draymond and Trace to see if this fit can work. This means that Jonathan Kuminga has from now until the 18th of October to show Steve Kerr that he can play as the Warriors' starting small forward. If this works, Steve Kerr utilizes Andrew Wiggins as the team's starting shooting guard next to Steph, which allows Kerr to keep Poz as the main facilitator on the second unit and out of the starting lineup. Steve tries to maintain continuity in his minutes distribution and lineups, so if Poz was going to be a lock for the starting lineup, he would have been playing the 2 guard instead of Melton, who is the step-in for Wiggins. Wiggins is currently the only player that could fulfill that role at the 2 spot as a replacement for Klay Thompson. While Wiggins might not have the offensive capability, he more than makes up for it at the other end of the floor when he's motivated and at his best. So what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't, Trace gets booted from the starting lineup, Draymond starts at center, Kuminga sticks at the 4, Wiggins the 3, and Melton the 2. In both cases, Kuminga starts next to Draymond. Steve Kerr has led on that he doesn't plan on playing Draymond heavily at the 5, which means this lineup won't see too many minutes on the floor. The alternative to that then is the Warriors have JK come off the bench while starting Melton next to Wiggins while Draymond plays next to Trace. None of these lineups contain pods, however, and with Kevon Looney coming into the season with improved mobility, a trimmer physique, and a jumper, we might see him return to the lineup instead of Trace. But what's missing from all this? After entering the game in the second quarter, we saw a very different Moses Moody. Rumors have been spreading regarding Moody's improvement as a player. He's improved his ball handling, he's more aggressive on offense, and he seems to be a very capable defender in his first outing. Not only that, he was one of only 3 players in the game that seemed ready to shoot the ball. Why he was left out of Slater's 2-guard evaluation is likely due to the same thing that has plagued Moody for the entirety of his professional career: Steve Kerr. We've discussed at length the attributes that Moody brings to the table as a player. So, what did we see recently that might reveal anything new about Moody? After finishing the night with a plus 14, Moody had the highest plus-minus of the night on either squad. His closest teammate was Pods, who finished with a plus 5. This isn't surprising considering the rumors which have him as one of the best players in camp. Despite this, the discussion for Moody in a starting role is non-existent. I'd like to start that dialogue. At 6'5", Moody's length and defense slots him in as the next best replacement for Klay behind Wiggins. The holdback for Moody is that he's only been shooting at 36%. If his shot could maintain consistency, Moody could find himself in the 2-guard slot as a starter, leaving Wiggins having to try to outplay either Moody himself for the spot or Kuminga for the small forward spot. This will not be an easy task. Unfortunately, I don't see a lineup that will include all 3 of Moody, Wiggins, and JK unless Draymond decides to give up his role as a starter. Moses Moody shot 2 of 5 from downtown and was second in scoring with 12 points. While I do like DeAnthony Melton at the 2 spot, the Warriors might be better served having what seems to be the best version of Moody we've ever seen and a much more intriguing upside. Moody was outscored by only one person on the roster, and that was Lindy Waters III. Waters not only hit 5 threes on 5 of 7 shooting, he also hit the buzzer-beating 3 with the Warriors down 2, elevating the Warriors above the Clippers to get the win. While Waters is on a small contract that might not see a whole lot of playing time, if his shot is consistent, he will find a role in the rotation. Could he be the Warriors' Duncan Robinson? Perhaps. Waters was on a deep OKC team that, despite their young age, had very skilled players, so he never saw much playing time and unfortunately never quite received the opportunity he could have with the Warriors. If Waters is able to realize his potential with Golden State, this could impact the Warriors' entire outlook for the season. The remaining 5 preseason games will give these players the chance to show what they can do and help Steve Kerr to decide who deserves to be in the rotation. Considering how controversial it is, who do you guys think should be in the Warriors starting 5? Do you think Waters will earn a spot in the rotation? What role should Moses Moody have this season? Post your thoughts in the comments below. Before that, however, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Swish.